He stayed still for a moment, letting me adjust, his forehead resting against mine. Then, he began to move. It was a slow, deliberate rhythm at first. Each thrust was a statement acclaiming, the sound of our bodies, slapping together mixed with the rain and the thunder. I met his rhythm, my hips rising to meet his, my nails digging into his back. The slow burn of the past few weeks had erupted into a wildfire. He sped up, his thrusts becoming faster, deeper. His control, snap. This was no longer a seduction. It was a raw, primal need. He whispered my name over and over, a mantra of his release. My own climax was building, a tight coil in my stomach that was winding hotter and hotter. He hit a spot deep inside me, and the coil shattered. A wave of intense pleasure washed over me. So powerful my vision blurred. I screamed his name as my body convulsed around him. My release triggered his. With a final deep groan, he poured himself into me, his body shuddering against mine. For a long time, we just stayed there, wrapped around each other on the kitchen counter, our breath coming in ragged gasps as the storm raged on outside. The reality of what we had just done began to seep in, cold and terrifying. But under the fear, the satisfaction was undeniable. I had crossed the line, and for the first time in a very long time, I felt completely, utterly, and devastatingly alive. The weeks that followed were a blur of stolen moments and frantic passion. A quick, silent encounter in the laundry room while the dryer hummed. A long, slow afternoon in his bed while Anthony was at the golf course. We were careful, but we were also reckless, drunk on the thrill of our secret. The house, once a silent prison, was now our playground. I found myself smiling for no reason. I wore lingerie under my day clothes, felt beautiful. I felt wanted. The guilt was a constant companion, a bitter taste at the back of my throat, but the pleasure was a sweeter poison. Then my period was late. Before we go on, I need your support. Subscribe to my new channel, Evelyn's Secret Stories, with the link below. That's where we post daily now, because this channel has been facing difficulties. Your support there means the world, and it helps keep these stories alive. First, I told myself it was stress, but when a week passed, then 10 days, a cold, hard knot of dread formed in my stomach. Anthony and I hadn't been intimate in over 2 months. The math was simple, and it was horrifying. I bought a pregnancy test at a pharmacy in the next town over, my hand shaking as I paid in cash. Back home, locked in my master bathroom, I watched in abject terror as 2 pink lines appeared on the little plastic stick. Positive. I sank to the floor. The test clutched in my hand. Baby, a child conceived in a moment of reckless, forbidden passion with my husband's son. I had 3 choices, each one a different kind of damnation. I could confess and watch my entire world burn to the ground. I could run, disappear, and start over somewhere new, alone with this secret. Or I could try to live the lie and pray Anthony wouldn't notice. The timeline was impossible. The confrontation came on a Sunday. It was my fault. I was careless. Anthony had come home early from a game of tennis, and I was in the kitchen with Leo. We were arguing in hushed, frantic tones. You have to tell him. Leo was insisting, his face pale. We can't lie about this, Paisley. Tell him what? Kissed back, that I am pregnant with his grandchild. It will destroy him, Leo. It will destroy everything. What will destroy me? Watson's voice stopped calm and cold, cut through the air. We both froze. He was standing in the doorway, his tennis racket still in his hand, his face a mask of confusion that was slowly hardening into suspicion. The silence that followed was the loudest sound I'd ever heard. It stretched for an eternity. Leo looked at me, his blue eyes pleading. Anthony looked from his son's panicked face to my terrified one. The pieces were clicking into place for him. I could see the dawning horror in his eyes. Paisley, he said, his voice dangerously low. What is he talking about? This was it. The moment of reckoning, the end of the line. I looked at the 2 men who represented the 2 halves of my shattered life. My husband, the man I had once loved, now a stranger who provided a life of comfortable emptiness, and his son, the boy who had reawakened my body and my heart, but whose love was a destructive force. I took a deep breath. The lie died on my lips. The truth, as ugly and ruinous as it was the only path left. I'm pregnant, I said, my voice barely a whisper. I looked straight at Anthony, my heart breaking for the pain I was about to cause. And it's not yours. It's Leo's. The tennis racket clattered to the floor. Watson's face crumpled. the carefully constructed facade of the successful, powerful man dissolving into pure, unadulterated devastation. Leo took a step toward me, a protective instinct, but I held up a hand to stop him. This was my mess, my decision. In that moment, watching the wreckage of my life unfold, a strange sense of clarity washed over me. I couldn't stay. I couldn't choose between the father and the son, between the past and a future built on a catastrophic secret. My only choice was to choose myself and the new life inside me. I turned and walked out of the kitchen, leaving them both standing there amidst the ruins. I went upstairs, packed a single bag, and walked out the front door of that beautiful, silent house for the last time. I don't know what happened between them after I left. I don't know if they fought or if they fell apart. I drove until the sun came up with no destination in mind, only the quiet hum of the engine and the terrifying, liberating feeling of being utterly alone. My life was a blank page, stained by the story that had just ended. I had a choice to make every single day about what to write next. I made my decision in that house, a decision that detonated my world. I chose the brutal truth over a comfortable lie. I chose an uncertain future over a dead past. But I still lie awake some nights, the ghosts of that stormy night, and those stolen weeks haunting the quiet corners of my mind. And I ask myself the same question. In that kitchen with a boy who made you feel alive, and a man who let you die, what would you have done? Don't stop here. This is just the beginning. For more content like this, subscribe to Evelyn's Secret Stories.